Greetings, my friends. It is I, Kolar the Unkilled, and if you saw my last video, you would know that I had talked about swapping out my tree mods, SFO Definitive for SFO Trees Only, in combination with HD Trees 2K. And so, here we are in the Riverwood area. I'm going to walk along here and just make some first impression observations. And keep in mind, I had this mod set up in the past, but it has been a while. And, well, let's see how it goes. I was brutally honest when criticizing SFO Definitive in my last video, so I want to also be brutally honest when I criticize SFO Trees Only. If in fact any brutality is warranted, and so far it does look different. I'm not sure how evident it is to you on your screens, but it does have a significantly different appearance, and so far it looks good. And right away, one of the things that's most evident to me is there seems to be a greater variety of trees here. Or perhaps the trees that we do have are of similar varieties, but there's variation among the same models. Similar trees look different to each other, the way that it would in an actual forest. There's one of those Scots pines. That's what I was worried about with the Lod. No problem with that one, but it is very close. Hopefully here in a bit we'll get to see some of those. And here's an example of what I'm talking about. There seems to be different trees in... the trees are in different states of health. Such as this one right here seems to be dying off in the lower half, and yet the top half is fine. And then you've got trees such as these, which are lush and healthy all of the way through, as are those. Here, let's get into a more open area. Alright. Let's take a look at the Sawn, the sawed-off tree stump. Well, that's not a very good. That's in the shadow. There's one over here that I can find. There's a tree right there that appears to be completely dead, yet still retains its basic shape. A lot of things are obscured in shadow right now. The trunk and bark textures should all be imparted from HD Trees 2K, since I have that overriding. And like I said, it holds its own. That is one advantage SFO Definitive is going to have. The bark textures were awesome. You know, except for that one particular model, which I had pointed out. But for the most part, the bark was amazing. But the wood, the chopped wood, looks good. Here's some logs. They have an older, more seasoned look to them. They don't look freshly cut, but oh, whatever. They look real enough. Okay, here's the sawn tree stump. Now, to me, in my mind, this looks better. This actually is an improvement over the SFO Definitive version of the stump. Particular about my stumps, I am. Alright, let's just walk on down the way towards Whiterun. You know, with that Origins of Forest mod active, I sometimes feel my face start to itch at the tactile illusion that I'm about to have leaves brushing into my face. That is really quite remarkable. Okay, so here we have a dead stump in the sunlight. It looks good. The SFO definitive version of this was a little bit better, but this still looks good. There's one of those half-healthy trees. The snow tree, those look good from this distance at least. We'll be taking a look at those here very shortly. I'll travel to the same spot in Winterhold where we looked at those in the last video. Now here, prime illustration of what I'm talking about. Varying degrees of prosperity among all of the trees in this forest. Right here, these are 3 adjacent models. Each one looks different from the other. Now they are a bit close. Some of these I notice are uncomfortably close to each other. I mean, only a few, but that is something that you have in a forest. You do have trees that sort of grow up together right next to each other. So that doesn't really bother me too much. Almost sort of adds to the realism. This particular one right here that I have centered, as well as that one, that reminds me of when I was on vacation in Lake Tahoe. Big, beautiful pine trees with the branches, they stick straight out and the needles sort of hang down off of them. That is one particular model that was not present in SFO Definitive that I did miss. Well, now this is interesting here. This looks like the same tree model from Definitive that I was complaining about. The 2D dead branches with pipe-like appendages jutting out the side. Now this one's got quite a lot more going on, so it's not as noticeable. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's got a couple of spider webs. Let me find an angle here. I don't think it's going to show up. But they're there, my friends. Spider webs. From an orb weaver or something of that nature. So that's a nice little detail to distract you from the 2D poor quality nature of those branches. So, no, my friends, it's not perfect. But am I reasonably happy with it thus far? Yes, I am. All of the lauds appear to be good. I love the variety, the different sizes. These trees are they're more scraggly looking. SFO Definitive definitely had a healthier forest look to it. At least in this particular area. Let's go to a different spot, shall we? There is no better place to check out pine trees than in the forest around Falkreath. So let us have a look. We can also gauge stability. Now see, the needles on this tree here are a lot more fine, whereas this big one over here has got more of those thicker type needles. And then that one is different still. You know, I guess that's what really drew me to the mod in the first place, initially, was the variety. Oh, by the 9. Look at this. It's the same low-res fungus that I complained about being present in Definitive. I don't remember seeing that before. Okay. Now, I will say that the green sludge on the side isn't quite as bad, though, honestly. The fungus is still horrible, and this tree model itself is not that great. I will certainly say that. You know, my friends, I used to use bigger trees with this setup. That's what, you know, when I did the video with SFO Definitive and bigger trees. And that worked out rather well. So here over the next few days, hopefully, if not sooner, I'll be able to plug in bigger trees, and we'll take a look at the forest here with the SFO Trees Only mod, with all of this variety. And we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be quite spectacular. Let me just jog along here, because we need to test out the stability, the frame rate. I mean, with all of this going on, with the grass, the varying levels of grass that we've got, all of the trees, the HD, the 2K bark that I have added to the trees, there's a lot going on. You know, I'm not... There was a little bit of a LOD there. I'm not really coming upon the Scots Pine model. I wonder where all the Scots Pines went. Look at the height of that tree right there. I'm imagining what this is going to look like when I plug in bigger trees. Oh, and there's Fabio. You're out of your normal place, Fabio. What are you doing over here? Running from that. Rid this abomination from this fine forest. Ooh, it's a demented troll. Did you see its eyes? Those things are disturbing. Alright, into the thicket we journey. You know, I'm not really getting much of a frame rate here, my friends. I mean, it's slight, it's there, but I mean, Riften usually lags a bit more than this, and I don't have much of a problem in Riften either. So, performance-wise, this is holding up quite beautifully. Now, look at this. Look at this. These LODs are quite brilliant. Oh yes. Very little in the ways of complaints thus far. But let's get up north and take a look at some Winterhold trees, shall we? Alright, here we go. The moment of truth. Oh no. Oh no. I do not recall these dreaded tusks of doom protruding from my trees. Now, granted, okay. I guess it's the mesh that's bad. The overall shape, they're so angular. There's a lot more texture on them, so it doesn't look like they're just spray painted or, you know, dipped in paint. The bark. Okay, so the bark texture is good with the HD Trees 2K, but you know, I guess it was less noticeable because of the texture on those branches. They sort of blend in a little bit better with the rest of the trunk. Maybe that's it. Like I said, I still don't like how that looks. But hey, my friends, look at this. No more fluffy snow. I have Nordic back in my load order. Yes, Nordic snow. It has been a long time. And it looks as good as I remember it looking. So the fluffy snow texture was just too big for my tastes. I couldn't do it. It would be different if it were the fluffy 2K that Skeletor took away from us for some reason. Why, Skeletor? Why did you do that? Ah, it's alright, I'm sure. I'm sure he has his reasons. This looks like a vanilla winter tree right here. Okay, here's some of the skinnier ones also that I had pointed out in my last video. Yes, they are there. They're just far less noticeable because of the way the bark texture is blending them. Okay. I understand now. Oh, there we go. There. Finally. So the Scots pine has not been completely removed, although there does appear to be a floating branch. So the Scots pine, at least this particular one, has some anti-gravity branches. Oh, by the 9. You just can't have it all, my friends. It's just... There is no perfect tree mod out there unless you go one of those big 200 megabyte ones. I'm starting to become more and more certain. Another one of my favorite places to check out trees. Here we are at Picturesque Fleetford. Well, I mean, hell, Fleetford is one of my favorite places, period. Oh, gods. Can you believe that? That is screenshot material, my friends. That is outstanding. And, well, it's mostly mythical ages, but the trees are adding to it absolutely, just due to the shapes and the variety. Exquisite. Okay, here is one of those funny lods. Did you see it? Did you see it before it switched? It looked like it was going to be a tall tree, and then it morphed into a smaller tree, a much smaller tree. Yeah, it was right about here. I don't know about you, but I love foggy weather. And now, my friends, I am on my way to find a moth priest. And I see something here in the distance that disturbs me. Ooh. Oh no. You saw that, right? That was a pretty dramatic pop-in. Those... Ooh, there was some more. Those billboard trees were not even in quite the right spot, and the color was a little off. So let's just proceed on down the way and see how this goes. Okay, not bad. That's actually fairly dramatic.
Are you a soldier? One day? Pa says I'm too young to fight him. I wish I was a soldier. Have you met... Need something?
Yeah, aren't you supposed to tell me where the moth priest is? Never mind, I'll find him myself. Okay. How evident is that on your screens, my friends? Oh! Oh, gods. Ysmir's tooth. So that doesn't look good, at least from where I sit. Oh! What? I would expect that kind of pop-in to occur if I was running bigger trees. Well, shit. Is that the way this is going to be? You see, I really had my hopes up about this tree combination. SFO trees only, and HD trees 2K. But at least along this little stretch here, around Dragon's Bridge, I'm getting some really bad LOD pop-in. Search Rogan. There's the note. Yeah. Well, my friends, I'm going to keep these trees on here for a while and just continue playing through the game to see how consistently good or bad the LODs are going to be. But that, I recall, was my main complaint from before. So I'm following the blood stains. I mean, everything else, the game, in my opinion, looks great. I still love the looks of the trees. I just don't know if I can deal with that LOD. Look, you can see Meridia's beacon all the way from over here. I never noticed that before. There are some funny LODs right over here. Let's see how long it takes for those to pop in. Oh, look at that. It was a completely differently shaped billboard. It just dematerialized and morphed into a different tree model. I am appalled right now. Look over there. Look at all those. Oh, no. I just can't stop. Oh. By the bloody fucking 9. Okay. Well, initially I was leaning towards these trees, but now, my friends, I just don't see how it's going to work. I cannot put up with dematerializing billboards right in my field of view. Even Miko is distressed. Forget the damn moth priest. Alright, my friends, I'm going to stop the video here. I have some contemplating to do. I remain Kolar the Unkilled, as Tesht. And as always, I thank you for watching.